we talk, my people, make we talk. When the sound that comes and all the place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Make We Talk program here on WZPP and WZOP, the voice of the Caribbean. This afternoon, we're going to speak to a former Jamaican ambassador to the United Nations, Ambassador Curtis Ward. He'll be coming on in the next couple of minutes. But we're going to just segue into a discussion that that is going on various social media, where people are saying that the Jamaican Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade should step aside. I wouldn't go so far to ask the good lady to step down at all. But a lot of people are saying that the time has come for Minister Johnson Smith to step aside. Well, if that is the case, we'll all see. I see we're in the Jamaican government is gearing up for election. Whether we want to believe it, yes or no, the Labour Party is gearing up for election, along with the People's National Party. And if we understand certain things in Jamaica, where it comes on to politics, we'll all understand that when you see the governing party around the country having speeches after speeches, campaign speeches, you know. That's campaign speech they're going around the country having. Today we see we're in St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, got an award from a university in Nigeria. Dr. Gonzalez is the longest serving Prime Minister in CARICOM. And he received an award from a prestigious university in Nigeria. Congratulations to the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister went on to say, that he did not collect the award just for himself. He collected on the behalf of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I think that's a very good gesture for the Prime Minister to say that. Majority of other politicians around the Caribbean, when they get an award, they don't say they get the award for the people of their country. What they're saying, they get the award for themselves. But at least Dr. Gonzalez said he got it for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Today, our topic will be, is Jamaica's foreign policy at risk? We're waiting for Ambassador Curtis Ward, who will come on to speak to us some more about Jamaica's foreign policy. Ambassador Curtis Ward is an attorney at law, international consultant, a former ambassador and deputy permanent resident of Jamaica to the United Nations in the 1990s. Ambassador Ward has served Jamaica well. Ambassador Curtis Ward is a career diplomat in his own right.
And he will come to speak to us about Jamaica's foreign policy and about the 15-member CARICOM countries within the Caribbean. So we are waiting on Ambassador Ward to call in and tell us and have this robust discussion here. We're also seeing where majority of us in the Caribbean here, I see we're in, I think it's St. Kitts and Nevis, hit with an earthquake also off the coast of St. Kitts and Nevis. Jamaica hit with one a couple of days ago, or a week ago. And we're still overcoming what is going on. You know? I see we're in the Montego Bay deputy mayor is saying that if a disaster should reach Montego Bay, it will be a major disaster. The buildings wouldn't survive if a disaster should reach Montego Bay. We're going to try and get the deputy mayor of Montego Bay to come on the line here. The same way we're going to try and get the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Honorable Dr. Rolf Gonzalez, to come on and speak to us about his views on Haiti. He's an outspoken Prime Minister, along with the Prime Minister of St. Vincent, along with the Prime Minister of Barbados. I dubbed her as the Iron Lady of the Caribbean, Mayor Motley. She will be coming, we're going to try and get her to come on to speak to us also. The people of the Caribbean is faced with serious problems. Now when I say serious problems, I mean serious problems. Because if we have a country that is rocked with violence and rocked with guns, and if members of the CARICOM nations don't do something about it, then they will face with a problem for years and decades to come. When I speak none other than Haiti, I think the CARICOM countries should do more to help the Haitian brothers and sisters. And so, we all have to sit down and come to a decision in what we're going to do to help our brothers and sisters in Haiti. And to stem Haiti from the flow of guns. And to stem other Caribbean countries from the flow of guns. That's what is going on. We're here waiting on the goodly gentleman, the Jamaican Ambassador to the United Nations, Ambassador the Honorable Curtis Ward, to come onto the program here to discuss Jamaica's foreign policy. I wish I could get my producer in studio here with me. Jamaica's foreign policy. Because a lot of people are upset with Jamaica pertaining to the vote in the United Nations a couple of days ago. But you know, it's not the first or the second time a country may abstain from voting on certain policies within the United Nations. So we are here waiting on Ambassador Curtis Ward to come on and speak to us in the whole scenario of Jamaica's foreign policy, because I see we're in opposition spokesperson and foreign affairs and foreign trade, the PNP Lisa Hanna, is calling for the Minister of Foreign Affairs to come in and the current Minister of Foreign Affairs to resign also. The minister, the opposition leader, Mark Golding, is doing the same thing. But we must understand something here, that although we are calling on other people to resign, the fact of the matter is, can we do a better job? Those are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. Ambassador Curtis Ward has a wealth of knowledge when it comes on to foreign policies. And that is why you have to get the elder statesman to come on. A Jamaican who served his country well. So we're going to wait. We're going to see here. He promised us faithfully he'll come on to have Ambassador Ward on our program here to speak to us some more about Jamaica's foreign policy. In the meantime, I see we're in the United States here. The former president of the United States, Donald Trump, is dragged through court right now to testify. You know? So we're here getting through to Ambassador Ward to have him to come on to our program here. Yes. Welcome to the program, caller. Yes, I'm not hearing you clearly, caller. Can you? Not hearing you clearly at all. I'm not hearing you clearly at all, caller. I don't know. Can you hang up and call us back? Please do. This is the Micro Talk program here on WZPP and WZOP, the voice of the Caribbean. I don't know what's going on, but we can hardly hear our callers when they call in. Yes. But you know, we're here to speak about Jamaica's foreign policies. And based on all what is going on in the land of wood and water and around the Caribbean, a lot of people within the Caribbean are even questioning their own foreign policies. At one point, Jamaica's foreign policy, or Jamaica Foreign Affairs Minister, was dubbed as the best foreign affairs minister known. Welcome to the program, caller. Go ahead for me. I beg your pardon, sir? Did you read the newspaper, sir?
You have to remember something, and I'm going to move to my other office program. Just quickly, I'm quickly moving because you're coming in and out for some reason. Can you hear me better?
Yes, we don't have a lot of time leave on the program. And the
I know you're waiting on the ambassador. Yeah, you have to remember something about Jamaica. I had the conversation with you before about the same thing. You have a party, an administration that is aligned to U.S. policy, particularly.
All right, call a hold a while for me, please. I have Ambassador Curtis Ward online here. Ambassador, welcome to the Make a Talk program, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ambassador Curtis Ward, former Jamaican ambassador to the United Nations, an attorney at law, international consultant, and a former ambassador and deputy permanent resident of Jamaica to the United Nations. Ambassador, welcome to the program once more, sir. Tell me something, sir. Based on what is going on in the United Nations and Jamaica, do you think that Jamaica's foreign policy is at risk, sir?
If I think it's at risk?
Yes.
I think Jamaica's foreign policy is incoherent. It's hard to follow exactly what the policy is on most issues. And of course, the recent failure to vote on a very important resolution at the UN has created a lot more confusion as to where Jamaica stands on issues. Particularly issues where Jamaica has had very strong principles and advocacies on in the past. So, in that sense, perhaps you could say the foreign policy is at risk. But to me, it's at risk of being sowing seeds of confusion. Let's put it that way.
And I see wherein the opposition leader of Jamaica is calling for her to step down. As a former ambassador, sir, would you go that far to call for her to step down, sir?
Is that the opposition leader or the spokesperson?
The opposition leader also is calling for her to step down, along with the spokesperson on foreign affairs and foreign trade, Miss Lisa Hanna.
Yes, I read Miss Hanna's article in the Jamaica Observer, and I think it was well written, and she certainly defended the position she had taken in terms of calling for the foreign minister to step aside. Under most democracies,
yes, sir,
if you have this kind of debacle in your foreign policy, and there's a whole long list of issues, and when you have a complete breakdown in the system of policy formulation and communication between the ministry and its ambassadors in the field, then I think it indicates that you are not up to the job. And perhaps, yes, you should step aside.
Ambassador, when you were there, sir, how did when you were there, did Jamaica's foreign affairs ministry, or did we face the problems that we're facing now with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade as an ambassador?
No, I didn't see that as a problem. Communication was not a problem. As a matter, it was very interesting because we were on the Security Council, and my portfolio is responsibility for Security Council affairs.
Yes.
In 2000-2001. And in the Security Council, things move very fast, very quickly. And if you are in a meeting and you're debating an urgent situation, and we had some of those, we had several urgent situations, both in the Middle East with the issue of Israel and Palestine, as well as in the Balkans and Kosovo and those places. We had some urgent issues we had to deal with. We had urgent issues going on in Sierra Leone and in Liberia and so on and so forth. So it wasn't just one issue. And we were able to participate in emergency sessions of the Security Council. And sometimes we would go into the hours of the night.
Yes.
And at the end of at the adjournment of the meeting, because there was many times we were going to pick up next morning at 10 o'clock, where we left off at 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the night. And we were able to communicate
a summary of these discussions and where we were and where we are likely to go when we pick up next morning with headquarters.
Yes.
And receive response from headquarters by 9 o'clock next morning, so that when we went into a 10 o'clock meeting, we were prepared. We were agreed on a course of action that we should take, what positions and so on. So we were operating under great urgency in many cases, and we were able to, based on sound instructions and deliberations and communication and consultations with headquarters, we knew exactly what our position was when we sat down in that chair the next morning.
And based on all what you just said to us, if you go in there for important vote, and for example you can't be there, your deputy will be there, eh?
Certainly. Usually, you don't leave your chair empty. If you have to get up and say, go to the restroom, for instance.
Yes.
Or if you have to get up and take a phone call from headquarters, then your deputy would slide into the chair once you get up, so the chair is not empty. And the deputy would be fully briefed on what our position is, in case our deputy had to speak or to exercise a vote or something. But in this particular case, Mr. Tavares,
yes, sir,
I don't understand why instructions were not communicated to the ambassador in New York in a timely manner. That is a major issue, because the ambassador who chairs the CARICOM caucus at the UN,
yes,
participated in the drafting of CARICOM's statement, which he delivered prior to the vote. You know, so CARICOM's statement was reflective of the statement of the entire Caribbean community, and there are 14 member countries.
So is it that Jamaica spoke on the behalf of CARICOM?
Yes, Jamaica spoke on behalf of CARICOM as chair of CARICOM caucus.
Yes.
Just prior to the vote.
Oh, Lord.
So at that point, Jamaica's position should have been decided and communicated already to the ambassador in New York.
That is Ambassador Brian Wallace.
Yes. Whoever.
Yes.
So, and when the vote was taken, 12 of the 14 CARICOM member states voted in favor of the resolution. Haiti abstained, which was no surprise. Haiti has been abstaining on listings at the UN. So, as you know, the situation in Haiti does not really provide them with a lot of policy making capacity in their government and so on and so forth. So Haiti abstained. And Jamaica is the only member of CARICOM not to have voted at all. In other words, there are three possible ways of voting. You vote in favor, you vote no, or you abstain. But each time you respond. In other words, when you abstain, you don't keep your mouth shut. You say, abstain.
Ambassador, hold on for me. We're going to take a quick break, sir. Hold on for me, please.
7 LPFM.
We're not the airline.
it over and over again that young people are the future. But the way young people are being treated in this country at this time has to change. It must change. Time come, comrades, for young people to live good in this country. Comrades, we can look around us and we see the state of hopelessness that many of our young people are in. We see that many of them are choosing chopping over education. We see that many of them are being gunned down and are gunning down people. We see that many of them, they can't afford the school fee, so them just stay at home. We see that many of them are being choked by the high cost that they have to be paying back to SLB. And many of our young people in this country are feeling hopeless. But comrades, I'm here to tell you today that there is hope. There is hope, and it resides within the People's National Party. The PNP has always stood.
This is why we have to pray for this nation.
Yeah, I tell you.
Because of the level of corruption that is going on in this country. And it seems as if the former Minister of Finance, at that time he was dubbed as the world-class Minister of Finance. It seems like termite eat out his brain. He does not remember the locking down of Central Bank. A lot of Jamaicans committed suicide and have heart attack because of that. It seems as if he has a amnesia going on. Something is fundamentally wrong with Mr. Davis. How dare him come out and talk about corruption? Dr. Omar Davies, these are not the views of Roots 96.1 FM. These are the views of me as citizens of this country, Jeffrey Tavares. Dr. Omar Davies, you have no moral authority to be speaking about corruption in the history in this country. Dr. Davies, you and the People's National Party has no moral authority to be speaking about corruption. Don't get me wrong, corruption going on right now in the PNP, in the JLP administration. It is going on right now. And that's why the level of crime is out of whack. Because corruption stinks to the highest heaven. But how dare this man, where in the 1990s Jamaicans suffer under his physical policies of the 1990s, you come talking about you never know that there's so much corruption going on in this country, in your life. But let me remind you of something that you did in the 2002 election, Dr. Davis, where you admitted to the people of this country that you acted corruptly. In other words, you acted irresponsible, and you make it clear to the people of this country. You remember the time when they said run with it? Dr. Davis?
that's rough, and this life just seems so tough.
Welcome back to the Mecca Talk program here on WZPP and WZOP. We're speaking to former Jamaican Ambassador Curtis Ward. Ambassador, welcome back to the program, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You were speaking about the deputy being in place if the ambassador herself is not in. Could you just continue from that part, sir?
Well, I was saying this before, you don't leave your chair empty. First of all, when you go into the United Nations General Assembly all for a vote,
Yes.
you're usually accompanied by a member of your diplomatic staff and someone usually at the senior level who is very much in tune with the issue before the council. And as a matter of fact, oftentimes the ambassador is briefed by the senior member of staff on certain aspects of the issue, and that briefing also would have been communicated to headquarters to help them in coming to their own conclusion. But on this issue, I don't think there should have been any confusion whatsoever. This is a resolution which was calling for a ceasefire to allow for humanitarian assistance to get to the Palestinian people and for them to have a safe corridor to get away from the carnage that they were suffering. I mean, bombs are raining down on them, both from missiles and from aircraft, as well as from shelling, and buildings are collapsing around them. So far, as of today, I'm seeing numbers which I can't verify, but the numbers are that 10,000 Palestinians have already been killed.
Yes.
From the Israeli response to the acts of terrorism carried out by Hamas on October 7. And of that 10,000, over 4,000 of them are children. And we've seen the images. And it's really heart-rending and very hard to watch these images. It's very depressing to see humans being slaughtered like this. I agree, Israel has a right to defend itself. Hamas did carry out a terrorist attack on October 7, killing some 1,700 Israelis, women and children and older individuals included. Yes. It was atrocious. Israel has a responsibility to its people to defend itself and to ensure that Hamas does not have the future capability to do this again. At the same time, Hamas took over 200 hostages and are holding them perhaps as shield against the Israeli response. So while Israel claims to be targeting Hamas, thousands of innocent civilians are being killed, and that is not acceptable. These kinds of acts violate international criminal law, and in the end, the sad thing is nobody will be held accountable.
Wow. Ambassador, like I'll have you on air here. Let us switch gear a little bit because we don't have enough time leaving the program here. What is your views on the whole idea of Jamaica led by Kenya to lead an armed force into Haiti? What is your views on the idea of Jamaica going in, based on what is going on in Jamaica now, with Jamaica's own crime problem they face, and nothing is being done in a way that Jamaicans would love for it to be done? And yet Jamaicans are thinking about, well, the government is thinking about sending Jamaican men and women in arms. What is your views on that, sir?
Well, first of all, Kenya is not leading Jamaica
Kenya is leading the mission,
Okay.
of which Jamaica is a part.
Thank you for the correction.
Secondly, all CARICOM countries have an obligation to help Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the size of the Jamaica Defense Force, only a fraction of the JDF is engaged in supporting the police in crime fighting in Jamaica. There are hundreds more sitting down, really doing very little. They may rotate in the operations, but those who participate in these police military operations, I would hope that they are specially trained. And, yes, they're going into harm's way, but at the same time, we must recognize that they may not be at the front of these operations because the role of the UN support mission is to support the Haitian National Police.
Yes.
Who are supposed to be trained up and equipped with the assistance of the Kenyans and others. And the Jamaicans who have the capacity to train, so that the Haitian National Police will have the lead role.
Mm-hmm.
And once they take back territory, somebody has to secure and hold it. And this is where much of the Kenyan, Jamaican, and other CARICOM contributions to the mission will be doing. They will be providing security around hospitals, schools, major road intersections, and so on and so forth, the airport and the seaport.
Yes.
Once they are taken and under control. Because the Haitian National Police, you can assume that if they are able to take territory to secure a hospital, for instance, they do not have the resources to remain there and to protect the hospital.
Mm.
So this may very well be one of the essential roles of the security support mission.
Yes.
And that's really the mandate of the mission based on the United Nations Security Council resolution.
Mm-hmm. Ambassador, your views on the rising crime situation in our country, sir. What is your views on Jamaica's crime situation in the sense of every day you get up there, the Jamaican crime rate is going up, sir? What would you say if you were called to advise the Minister of National Security or the Commissioner of Police?
Well, first of all, I will not be called to advise them.
Who knows?
Well, I'm a member of the Jamaican diaspora, and they've already decided that they don't want our help. But anyway, it is not so much the rise in crime that is so abhorrent. It is the type of crimes that are really creating this horror in Jamaican society.
Mm-hmm.
The cruelty behind some of these crimes. The people are now committing crimes and they are hiring hitmen to carry out these atrocities.
Mm-hmm.
This is quite troubling. I see so many children being victims of crime. I see so many women being victims of crime. The society has really lasted. The social construct that I grew up in has been completely destroyed. And we see this every day with the various crimes that are being committed. And it is so troubling that the government has failed to put in place a proper crime plan that can really deal with the types of crimes taking place in Jamaica. This is really a failure of government. It's a failure of the security forces, the police, and the JDF, which back them up. But the primary responsibility lies with the government and its agency of the police. So I don't know except to say that the government has failed. They seem to have no answer in any meaningful government that is concerned about governance and the people. The Minister of National Security should have been long gone. Recently, when the Prime Minister spoke of reshuffle, or at least there was speculation that there would be reshuffling of the cabinet, one of the top candidates that the public expected to lose his job was the Minister of National Security. Another candidate would have been the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. But that reshuffling never took place. And so the people of Jamaica are stuck with people who can't get the job done. And the responsibility stops at Jamaica House with the Prime Minister.
Mm. But Ambassador, when you listen to the crime figures given to the Jamaican people and members of the diaspora, a lot of Jamaicans are saying, no, sir, it's way higher than that. If the People's National, I'm not going to be political here, but I was asking a question here. If the People's National Party should gain state power, sir, and you're called upon to give an advice pertaining to the security apparatus of Jamaica, would you be willing to do that, sir?
I am willing to give advice to any political party that is running the government. Mm-hmm. It is not to the party, it is to the government. The government of Jamaica is a government elected by the people. And it is incumbent upon the government of the day to seek sound advice where advice is available. At least to listen. You don't have to act on that advice. You don't have to take the advice, as we would say. But at least open your minds to what is available. Open your minds to the options that may be available to you. And the ways you can get things done that you're not now doing. Mm. So, if a People's National Party government should seek my advice, I would give them my candid advice. And it should be left to them to act upon it or to use it in whatever way that can benefit Jamaica. So, I certainly I'm willing and able. If this government asks me for advice, I give it. Because I put Jamaica first above all else. Mm-hmm. And, I don't want to be painted into a corner. I may like one party above the other, but I like the country and the people above both parties. And I only wish that more Jamaicans would take that stand and not be so tribalized in their party and parties and positions.
Yes. Ambassador Curtis Ward, you're also you also led a part in the Security Council of the United Nations too, sir?
Yes, I served 2 years.
Yes.
2000 to 2001, 2 full years as Jamaica's Deputy Permanent Representative and Ambassador at the UN with Security Council Affairs. I was appointed specifically for Security Council Affairs. I spent very little time, if any, dealing with the General Assembly. It was all Security Council. And that was a full-time occupation. You had no time for anything else because there are so many conflict situations, what we call peace and security situations, that we have to engage on. And while on the Security Council, I was asked to chair the ad hoc committee on the Brahimi report and U.S. peace operations, and then to chair the first time established working group on peacekeeping operations in the Security Council during my second year on the council. It was the first time the Security Council had established such a working group, and I was appointed the first chair by unanimous consent of all the members of the Security Council.
Let me ask you this question then, Ambassador. You deal with security apparatus at the United Nations, appointed, don't you think, do you believe that the Jamaican diaspora should come together along with Ambassador Curtis Ward or former retired FBI agent Wilfred Radigan, Herb Nelson Jr. and others, and see if they could sit down and write a crime plan for Jamaica and present it to the government? Do you think that if you all do that, do you think that they will accept it, sir?
Well, we have made offers to help in developing a crime plan that had the local input and the expertise, best standards and practices that are available on the international scene. They have not accepted those proposals in the past, and it would be presumptuous for us to just sit down and write a crime plan and say, here it is. It will probably end up in the trash can like so many other good plans have. The education plan, the health plan, you name it, have not seen the light of day. But yes, we are prepared to assist in that, and we are prepared to help drafting and bringing into the mix the experiences and best practices and the standards. But the Minister of Foreign Affairs told us that, not Foreign Affairs, I'm sorry, Mr. National Security, Dr. Chang, told us that Jamaica had the best trained police in the world, and that they had the top expertise in policing in the world, and so they don't need us to tell them anything or to advise them on anything. Those are his words, not mine.
And we can back it up here on the Make We Talk program, because I was privy to that panel discussion. Yeah, and I think at the end of it, he said, just send your money, come.
Precisely. and that's what they want from the diaspora. They want our money, but they don't want our expertise. We are not satisfied with that because Jamaica is our home. We want to see Jamaica be the best place to live, to raise a family in safety. We want to see Jamaica as a place where we can retire and be safe and secure in our homes, which we've sweated years in winter weather and summer heat to build in Jamaica. We want to be able to live there and live out the rest of our lives and be productive members of society as we do that. Not to live in fear or afraid even to live there. As many members of the diaspora have said, they moved to Florida from the north because they're afraid of living in Jamaica because of the crime and because of the dire conditions of the healthcare system in Jamaica. So members of the diaspora every day wake up and think Jamaica. Jamaica is on our mind every day. And we want to see the change and the changes that will make Jamaica a better place. And as Garvey said, be the change you want to see. We want to be a part of that change. We want to help to make Jamaica better. Just give us the chance to do so.
You know, Ambassador, we don't have enough time here on the program. And in 2 minutes, Ambassador, 3 minutes, can you just address your Jamaican diaspora in a sense of, Jamaicans who are listening in Jamaica right now on the Make We Talk program on YouTube and other portals. Can you address them, sir, when it comes on to Jamaica's crime problem in the sense of, you know, what should they do? Should they just sit down and accept what is going on?
Absolutely not. You cannot accept a situation where you remember when the Prime Minister and was running for election back in 2016?
Yes, sir.
When he promised that Jamaicans would be able to sleep with their windows open and their doors open. That's in Jamaica I grew up in. That's the Jamaica that he promised. And what has happened is the people who make bars for windows and doors have made a lot more money in the past few years, I guess, than they ever had in the history of Jamaica. Because people are literally scared. They walk and look behind them. They cross the street when they see people they don't recognize coming.
Yes.
We see crime has spread throughout Jamaica. This was a no-no. You know, when I was growing up, and long after I became an adult, the only crimes you would see in certain most rural areas is people robbing people, groups. Those were the crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Or people get into a fist fight and the police come and lock them up and charge them with disturbing the peace. You know, you never saw the murders in all the corners that are taking place in Jamaica now. In Westmoreland, in St. Elizabeth, St. James. Clarendon was a peaceful parish. I remember the days when I used to go on crab hunting in Clarendon.
Yes.
Without any fear. I'm sure anyone going crab hunting now have to be careful.
They have to.
You know? And Clarendon was a rural community. For the most part, you had Maple and you had a few other towns.
Mm-hmm.
But Clarendon was a peaceful place. You know? St. Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
Most of St. Catherine, except for Spanish Town, where you had some waves of crime from time to time.
Yes.
St. Andrew, rural St. Andrew, was a peaceful community.
Mm-hmm.
Now nobody feels safe anywhere in Jamaica.
Ambassador, thank you for coming on, sir. We don't have enough time leaving the program here. Just have a minute and a half leave. Former Jamaican Ambassador, Attorney at Law, Sir Curtis Ward, Ambassador Curtis Ward. Thank you for coming on, sir. Don't be a stranger no more on the program, sir.
It was always a pleasure.
Yes, indeed. The next time we have you come on, Ambassador, we're going to speak some more about the Haiti issue and so forth. Thank you so much, sir.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. That's former Jamaican Ambassador Curtis Ward, who was just speaking to us about Jamaica's foreign policy and also about Haiti. With this way, we're going to say so long from here for another day on the Make We Talk program. May God bless you, and may God bless Jamaica land we love. Have a good day, everyone.
LP